Looking good? Okay. Ready to start?
You're already going.
Oh, I'm going. Okay. Hello, and we say a very pleasant day to all of you. How are you doing today?
Good.
Very well. We thank you. We are also doing good, you could say. We are very happy to meet you in your reality. We speak on behalf of the Pleiadian Collective. We are a council of sorts that comes to meet you in your reality as ambassadors for the entire Galactic Council. There are many beings that you do not see normally. Some of you may, though they are present with you, and they are supporting your Earth in this great process of what you know as Ascension, going beyond your normal sensory perception into the ability to connect with, to perceive, to use higher dimensions, and to live through those higher dimensions. This is something that is very exciting, and whenever there is a civilization on the brink of such discoveries, we are coming to support this process in the ways that we can, though of course we cannot interfere. Now, one of the most common things that people ask is, why do you not just show up right here and now in front of us? If you really exist, why can you not show yourselves to us? The truth is that some of you already have had the experience, and many of you will come to have the experience of noticing how your own frequency can attract to you a ship in the sky, or perhaps an encounter in your dreams, and through that experience you come to see how you can have some degree of interaction with beings like ourselves. However, were we to land right in front of you, the frequency that we would bring to you would be so overwhelming that you would not be able to remain stable and grounded and sane, as you say, if you were exposed to such a vibration. So you are working up to raise your own frequency to one that is more suitable to come into resonance with our frequency. For now, this is the most appropriate way we have to transmit to you. It is a pleasure for us to do this, and we communicate with many different civilizations throughout the galaxy, as this is how we expand. By being in a state of loving service, we allow ourselves to receive more energy from our source, and by expanding what we know through meeting many others, we continue to evolve and gain many new insights. So this is a pleasure for us, and that is why we always first begin by thanking you for allowing it to occur. Now, we are one of many different civilizations deeply related to you, and we could discuss this to greater lengths. However, what is most relevant for us and for everyone is your pace of spiritual evolution, your choice to be who you are. And this is how we would really define spirituality, is understanding your power to choose. And it is not simply the choices like, do I eat this sandwich or do I buy a soup instead? No, it is the very big choices. It is not even the choices as, do I move to this place or do I go far to another one? It is the choice that you make about what you think. This is the most important choice of all. It is the choice that you make about what you believe about yourself. And it is the choice that allows you to transform the filters of belief. Now, you say, many of you say, that anything is possible. And this really is true. Yet, what is missing is, if you believe it, it is possible. And the process occurring on your planet is one of a increase in the degree of manifestation, that as the dimensionality, you could say, of your planet raises, that which you put out and that which you get back manifests much quicker. So you experience the results of the frequency that you emanate, which is the result of the beliefs that you have stored. And you will find that whatever you believe, you will see. Whereas many of you have come to think that you must see it in order to believe it. Actually, the opposite of that is also true. If you believe it, then you will come to see it. So how do you go about creating new beliefs? You must first discover what you really believe. And you do this by doing what many of you may call shadow work. By allowing yourself to dive into those sensations in your body that recur that are uncomfortable, or perhaps go directly to the images, the ideas, the emotional states, and instead of attempting to move away from them, you go directly towards them. You bring the love that you know you are, and take that into those places where there may be resistance. And in that state, you come to question, what must I be believing about myself in order to feel this way, in order to hold this frequency? And when you can discover that belief, you can then come to ask yourself what might be the opposite belief, what may be the opposite choice. And as you discover those belief systems that are more in alignment with the state that you would prefer, a state of balance, a state of positivity, you can bit by bit transform all of those programs. Your world right now is in a state of great evolution. And this evolution has been alarming for some of you and continues to be that way. Indeed, you have attracted much attention from many other beings in this galaxy who felt initially threatened back when you started experimenting with nuclear power and nuclear weapons, as if such an accident were to happen, that would bleed through into many other dimensions, and this galaxy, of course, would take a great toll, not just for you humans, but for many others. Now, this is what initially attracted us to you, and your Earth is continuously splitting off into many timelines. So we are, in a way, helping those of you who are ready to choose the timeline of this planetary ascension, of this open contact with your world and other worlds, to stay on the right track. As right now, there is evidence of many different possible tracks on your planet. Every soul is shifting through these different potential futures. So let us clarify on this. Literally in every nanosecond, when you change your frequency, you split off into a parallel universe. You are never the same person you were a moment before. And the universe that you generate around you is always changing as you change. And so this means that it is your choice, again, yes, your choice, that determines where you are headed. And this is why it is very important to have a great vision for your world, for yourself, and how you can give back, how you can be an example of the kind of person that you believe is necessary to change the way your planet is. Now, of course, the primary ingredient in this that many of you are forgetting, and this is one of the messages that we share most often with you, it is to live in a state of perpetual passion. To live in a state of perpetual passion means that in every single moment you choose out of every option, which one is truly giving you a feeling of openness, of warmth, of love in your heart. Sometimes those choices will also bring about the release of great negative beliefs that you can experience as contractions that are holding back that joy, that expansion that you may be feeling. And this is all right. That is part of the process. You may find that the contractions arise while you walk on your path, yet you know, because your heart shows you. Your heart comes to beat quicker. Your heart comes to pulse stronger. Your heart gets warmer. It gets sort of vibrating, spinning, dancing. And this will show you time and time again that you are on the right path. When you live a life that fills you with that passion, it will allow you to raise your frequency and to be an example of the kind of love and openness that is necessary for your planet to really change. So we would like to touch a bit on this idea of spiritual bypassing that is coming to be a common idea for very good reasons. And we would say the most dangerous type of bypassing that any one of you could do is to bypass what naturally brings you joy. Now, bypassing of the shadow is, of course, a more common type. Well, we wouldn't say more common. It is more commonly spoken of. Yet, the most dangerous spiritual bypassing is when you mistake something that is not representative of your passion for your passion. There are many reasons that you could do this, and most of all, it is a conditioning. It is a belief system that you inherit from those around you. The way that your world is set up is such that you are constantly bombarded with electromagnetic fields of thought that influence you to behave in certain ways, that influence you to see the world from certain eyes, that influence you to sort of identify with or resonate with a particular pattern of group thought. And most of these group consciousnesses within the bigger group consciousness have a big role to play. Though whenever you allow yourself to completely commit to all of the ideals, to all of the values and all of the beliefs that one field of group consciousness operates under, you miss the bigger picture. So we want you to question, what is truly my joy? When you do the things you do every day, do you feel that your heart is fully in it? Because we want all of you to live in a state where you are always feeling your heart expand with every single thing you do. There should be no thing throughout your day that brings your heart to contract because it is a necessity. Of course, there are some things that you don't like waiting in line, yet you will find that those little things that slow you down actually remain exciting when they are surrounded with exciting things. So, this will not bring you, in fact, to a state of ultimate joy forever. It will simply expand your ability to feel, to perceive, to receive energy and information, and to make change within yourself and within your world. Really, there will always be this balance, this dance of what you see as light and what you see as dark, of what brings you to connect more with the world around you and others, and what brings you to feel more separate or individual. This is the dance of positivity and negativity. And many of you come to a point where you simply only want to focus on the positive, and you've come to that point from being in a place where it must have been very hard, very dark. Perhaps the intensity of things brought you into a state of depression that you awoke from by finding the joy of positive focus. And that is a very good thing. Though ultimately there is a law in your particular universe, and this is not an entirely universal law. There are 5 laws that will never change. First is that you exist. You will always exist. You cannot change that. And then there is everything is here and now, as above, so below. What you put out is what you get back. And nothing changes except for those. Everything changes, rather, except for those laws. And this, of course, comes from our colleague, the Bashar, who is also present with us now, as are many other different beings listening in, supporting you in your energies. So, for your universe here, there is this law of compensation, that for all that is good about something, there is also limitations. And many of you have come to think that there is one ultimate solution for you or for anything. Yet really, whatever choice you make, there will also be some negative consequences to it. And the path of integration is not in being fully joyful. It is in recognizing that the joy and the light can still be present with the pain, with the anger, with the sadness, with fear, and in allowing yourself to feel what you consider negative, allowing it to express without necessarily believing it, understanding that you are feeling it because there is a belief that is limiting, and using your channel of expression not to hold on to it, not to validate it, no, but to transform it and hold space for the emotion it generates. You can find that this negative energy transforms quickly. Yet, because you are on a planet that holds both of these energies, you will always have both. You will always have to deal with them. And the acceptance you bring into each and every moment will allow you to have a clearer idea of what is exciting for you and what is not exciting for you. Tying together these ideas of the spiritual bypassing your joy, which many of you do and do not even recognize it, and the very common idea of spiritual bypassing in your world now, of denying the negative. When you can accept everything, when you can see the light and the darkness in every moment, in yourself, within everyone else around you, you will be free. And then you will be able to truly follow your excitement. Because when you truly follow your passion, it is not done to avoid what you do not want. In fact, many times when you are really following your passion, you will encounter many stumbling blocks that are representative of what you have defined as challenging or wrong. Because that is what needs to transform the most. And the synchronicity of the universe will magnetize it in a way that your excitement happens to line up with your own greatest challenges. And by understanding that it is a necessary part in the process, that in accepting the light and the dark, you need not move away from the dark, you need not move towards the light, you need only to be present here and now, as here and now is all there is. And here and now, which next step brings your heart to soften, to warm, to tingle, to buzz, however you perceive that? Which step is it? Take that step, and then take the next one, and then take the next one. Do not project into your future what will happen 1,000 steps from now, only one before. Do not attach to the idea of what's going to happen 1,000 steps later, only the next one, and then the next one. When you allow yourself to feel the completeness of this moment, the next moment is also infused with that energy of acceptance, of true surrender. You may have many doubts about the future of your world, yet do not hold them for very long. Recognize the reality of the pain held here. Recognize the reality of the pain that you hold. Recognize the reality of inequality and abuse of the land and the world's people. Yes, recognize this. Though be here and now in your passion and take your steps with it. In that openness, in that recognition, you are the change that you want to see. So be a representative of that true acceptance and that true passion. And the rest really will fall into place for you all. This is what we wish to share with you today at this time, so we thank you for allowing us to be here to share this message. We hope that it has given you a glimpse of what is possible and how to be more embodied in the pursuit of your passion today. Do we have time for any questions, or was that complete?
We could do maybe 1 or 2 questions.
All right. Would any of you like to ask something of us at this time? The question was, where is your planet heading? All right. So we did speak a little bit about this. Your planet is heading in an infinite amount of different directions, because in every nanosecond you split into an infinite amount of different parallel realities. Right now is not the same universe as it was a moment before. So your planet, it is up to you really where you go, because the way you change determines the reality you will end up in. So, generally speaking, your planet is going in this timeline as we see the probabilities, as we read the energies now, because everything is always changing depending again upon how you change your frequency. We cannot give a definitive future prediction. We can only read the probabilities. So, yes, in about 7 to 10 years of your time, there will be open contact with small groups of people and extraterrestrial life forms. And in the times to come to that, the trends that you are seeing on your planet will continue to go as they are. The conflicts that are arising will continue, though the work done and being done towards repairing your climate and awakening spiritual consciousness, of bringing unity, will also continue. The basic idea is that there are two, or, well, it is not as simple as simply two, though there are pockets of consciousness on your planet that are still getting denser, while the majority is ascending, is getting lighter. So those that are getting denser are polarized to the awakening groups. And there are many in between. We describe them as a gray zone. And in the work that you are doing to connect with your tribe, you could say, you all have different language for it. We don't have language in our reality, so it doesn't matter what you call it. But your soul tribe, if that is the word you like, as you unify with them, and as you connect and share your message and your frequency, that goes out to bring those in that so-called middle ground or gray zone to choose your reality. Many souls are awakening very quickly, while those who are getting denser are doing their thing and getting denser. And there will come a time when the contrast is so great and the density of those who are in that way devolving is so great that they will have to reincarnate into a planet that is suitable for that vibration, and they will have to leave this planet. Your Earth has chosen in this timeline a fifth dimensional consciousness, and so the Earth will lead you to that awakened, enlightened state. There are other versions of Earth, and you still have the option to shift your timeline to a version of Earth that does not ascend. And some people that you know will choose that, except you will experience a version of their soul that chooses something different. Because again, there's an infinite amount of different realities, and you choose. That is the ultimate message here. Though we have described the trend that you can observe.
Thank you. So to stay in flow with the rest of the container, we're going to have to move away from the channeling and the transmission space. But however, if any beings are interested in going deeper in this space, Dante and I are hoping to facilitate another ceremony next week where we will be going deeper into this space for the entirety of the cacao ceremony. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you talk to us, and we'll tune in about dates and times. Talk to us towards the end of the container so we can set that up.
Yes, we would be delighted to see you all again.
Thank you.
We thank you again for allowing this transmission to occur, and we wish you a very pleasant dance. Bring your joy into it. Bring your passion. Dance with passion. Yes.
I hope.